Test 1, 2.
Thank you, Chair Robbins. This meeting is being conducted virtually and in person, so I will do a roll call of the trustees to confirm attendance. Ms. Ginsburg?
Here.
Mr. Razzo? Ms. Langton?
Here.
Mr. Rue? Ms. Fessler? Mr. Oakham?
Here.
Mr. Green? Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Kehoe? Mr. Harris?
Here.
Chair Robbins. Staff participating in the meeting include Acting CEO Louis Lugo, AEOs JJ Popowich and Laura Guglielmo, Chief Counsel Stephen Rice, Legislative Affairs Officer Barry Liu, Director of Retiree Healthcare Cassandra Smith, and Consultant Stephen Murphy from Siegel. Trustees, please use the raise your hand Zoom option to be placed in queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute your mics until you are ready to speak, and we may now proceed with the agenda. And we have a request under AB 2449, just cause due to illness, received from Trustee Moore. Trustee Moore, can you publicly disclose if there are any persons 18 years or older in the meeting room with you?
No one here
Thank
except
you.
me.
Thank you. And we may now proceed.
Thank you very much. Item 3 is approval of the minutes of the November 5th meeting. I need a motion. And a second. Go ahead.
Mr. Oakham?
Aye.
Ms. Langton?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Chair Robbins?
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item 4, public comment. We don't have any requests from the
Nothing.
public to address the committee. We're on item 5A, the engagement report for November 2025. Mr. Liu is present. You're up, Barry.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Robbins and trustees. Some items of interest for you this month. The first one concerns a report by the TIA Institute. They're looking at state retirement plans and how, especially those states that don't have Social Security coverage, how they've kind of fell short in providing adequate retirement security, especially up to the industry standard benchmark of 80%. As you know, retirement security consists of the so-called three-legged stool of employer-sponsored plans, personal savings, and Social Security. So this study looked at various plan designs and saw that generally in cases where there's no Social Security or no guaranteed income option, a lot of these different plan designs fell short of reaching that threshold. The reason I was looking at this item as interesting is that the study did not recommend that, therefore, these states should then, be in Social Security. As you may know, mandatory Social Security coverage is kind of a controversial topic. When the repeal of the windfall elimination provision and government pension offset was being debated, one of the amendments offered was to do the repeal in exchange for mandatory Social Security coverage. But ultimately that amendment failed. One thing is that our plan sponsor has a policy standard to oppose mandatory Social Security coverage. But as you may know, as we approach that 2033, 2034 insolvency threshold where Social Security benefits can be reduced by 20%, that might be one of the policy levers that Congress might be looking at. Although Social Security coverage on the one hand might seem beneficial, on the other hand, for example, for our plans, it would have various downstream effects. LA County withdrew from Social Security back in 1982, but our plan is integrated with Social Security. So if we were to participate in Social Security again, it would basically reduce benefits, reduce our contributions, but it would also, in terms of the PEPR plans, reduce the compensation limit as well. So it's something for us to monitor, but I thought this was an interesting report in, touching on that topic. And the next item is an interesting factoid about Pasadena, city of Pasadena. So the city of Pasadena has its own firefighter and police pension fund. Interestingly, that plan closed way back in 1977. So even though it's a closed plan, these closed plans can be sustained for several decades, because until they pay out the last dollar to the last beneficiary, the plan will still be administered. So the plan's currently being overseen by a 5-member board. It's almost 98% funded. I think due to a sale of a property that, gave a fresh infusion of funds to the plan. But it's just interesting that, this is a plan that's almost been closed for almost 50 years, but it still needs to be administered. And the next item is about the North Carolina Pension Fund and COLAs. So North Carolina, interestingly, is one of those systems that its investments was overseen simply by the state treasurer. There was no investment board. What they're doing now is the new state treasurer wants to create an investment board and diversify their holdings, reduce their cash and boost their investments. And part is to help pay for COLAs for their retirees. I think their retirees have either received very few COLAs or very low COLAs. So, this change in their governance, I think they're kind of looking forward to maybe having, increased COLAs for the retirees. And then lastly, at the end of this year, the IRS releases its new compensation and benefits limits for 2026. So there are 2 limits that are important for our plans. There's the compensation limit that we're all familiar with on a federal level. It's currently $350,000 for 2025. It'll be increased to $360,000 for 2026. And then there's also the 14B limit, which limits benefits paid out. It's currently $280,000 and will be increased to $290,000. And as you all know, with PEPRA, there's a lower compensation limit I think it's currently about $186,000 or something like that. But in 2026, it'll be increased to $191,000. Also, at the same time, this past year, we've been monitoring AB 1383. So that bill wants to increase the PEPRA limit to tie it to the 14B limit of $290,000 for the upcoming year. But as you can see here, with the PEPRA limit, there's a lower limit for those systems that participate in Social Security. So that's why I mentioned before, if a system were to participate in Social Security again, at least if AB 1383 doesn't pass, there's an even lower compensation limit for PEPRA members. So that concludes my report. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions? Elaine and then Mr. Oakham.
Thank you. little more the difference between the DB plan max benefit under 415 and I guess the limit on compensation on under 415?
Yeah, so I think the best way to envision this is to think about our benefit formula. So our benefit formula is you're multiplying three numbers. It's your final compensation, your service credit, and then an age factor. And then that equals what your retirement allowance is. That's your benefit. So the compensation limit is a limit on how much final compensation can be used to start that calculation. And then the 14B limit is a limit on what's the retirement allowance that's ultimately paid out. So one extreme example would be, let's say you worked enough years to get 100% of your benefit. And let's say your compensation, you're at the limit of 360,000. Well, 100% of that would be 360,000, but that could be further reduced to possibly 290 because that's on the benefit side. So these limits are federal tax limits, and they're mainly intended to, I guess, keep this world separate from the executive compensation world in terms of broad-based compensation versus, what happens on the executive compensation side.
So would somebody today who is making 360 only get 290?
Possibly. The 290 for general members is also age reduced. So the 290 is if you retire age 62. If you retire as early as age 50, it could be down to like 150,000. So there's an actuarial a reduction on that. But for safety members, they don't get that. I should say for employees of police or fire departments, they don't get that reduction. So it does get complicated as we get into the weeds, but in general, these are kind of how I explained how the limits work.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mr. Holcomb.
So the limit on B14 is 290 for everybody, or police and fire, are they limited to?
Yeah, so everybody is subject to the limit. It's just that for employees of police or fire departments, that limit is not age reduced. So the 290 is at age 62. If it's age reduced, say to age 50, is a much lower limit.
Oh, yeah.
Except if you're an employee of a police or fire department, then it's still 290, let's say, if you retire age 50.
My other question is if they move that up to B14 for Pepper, you said 185 or
Right.
Pepper, can they handle that? I mean, they're not as good a shape as we are they?
Well, it would basically enhance the Pepper benefit. So,
But do they have the money? I guess that's the state, so that state would have to contribute to that.
that's what they would need to look at in terms of how that impacts contribution rates, because it would not only affect the state but affect us as well, because we're also under Pepper. So
I mean, you said what was the one that just has 185 or 90,000? That's not Pepper.
That is the Pepper limit currently, but that the proposal is to raise that to have it equal the 415B limit, so, which would, if you're already at the limit, it would increase and enhance your benefit.
I guess my question is, what happens if the plans can't afford to do that, or they'd have to contribute a lot more money to make that possible? I'm talking about whoever the entity is.
Yeah, so assuming this does pass and enhances the benefits, and that would, the systems would go through an experience study. They would then set their assumptions, and then that figure out how much to contribute to, pay for the enhancement.
On both sides.
Yes, on both sides.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Thank you very much, Mr. Liu. Item B, staff activities report, Cassandra.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. The only thing I'm putting on here is the Part B premium increase for 2026, which will be increasing $17.90 up to $202.90 per month. It is currently with the Board of Supervisors scheduled to be placed on their agenda for December 9th, at which time we expect to hear that they will be approving that recommendation to continue with that program. And that's it. Stand for any questions. In your chart, you do have the income-related amounts that are attributable to this increase as well, for your reference.
Is the Part D gone up?
Part D also went up.
If we don't have that here.
I did not put it in here, but if you want it, I can get it for you.
Needs to see that, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions for Cassandra?
Yeah, I have one. Can you remind me what the penalty is for? I'm sure I've already asked you, but I just can't remember.
You mean the income related?
Mhm.
Those are for the people that are successful. I always explain it to the members. But those are higher income individuals. So the more you make, the more you pay for your Part B as well as your Part D, as Mr. Oakham just referenced.
So I'm talking about on the chart, the $40. Are you talking about the same thing? Page 1 of the Medicare Part B reimbursement and penalty report. Oh, I'm looking at local 1014, but I think there were some under.
1014 is a little bit different.
Okay, we could forget 1014, but let's go to like the Medicare one, for example. Because there's a $40 penalty for that under Kaiser also.
I'm not seeing it. Do you see what she's talking about?
It's a reimbursement amount, under reimbursement amount.
Are you talking
Oh,
about?
I'm sorry, it's under penalty. The reimbursement amount was highlighted. It's the $51.50.
Those are people that enrolled. Let's see, penalty. Yeah, those are people that enrolled when the plan first started offering the penalty amount. I think we only have maybe a couple of people left. If they enrolled when we first started offering it back in 1992, the initial enrollment process allowed for individuals that enrolled during that time to also receive reimbursement of the penalty amount. And though that has since dwindled, like I said, until we only have like maybe a couple of people left in that category.
What is the penalty for?
That's 10% for every year that a member was entitled to Medicare, but they did not take it. They enrolled it in a later time.
Thank you so much. Got it.
Any other questions?
And do they pay it or do we pay it?
The member pays it and then we reimburse them if they enrolled within that period in 1992.
Even though they were late?
Right.
But they're not late if they have other insurance and decide not, I mean, you enroll for it, but you don't have to take it, is that correct?
You enroll, you don't have to take it if you don't want it, but that comes with that penalty if you decide later.
Let's say you're working.
Right,
And you have
correct.
group insurance.
You do not have to take it. If you're still working, you do not have to take
Do
it.
you have to enroll for that at 65?
Once you decide
Not
to
if
no
you're
longer
working.
be employed, you need to let Social Security know that I am no longer working and I want my Medicare. If they wait to do it, then they will be penalized.
That's the big speech I give everybody when they about ready to turn 65. What should I do? Should I join Medicare? Well, if you don't, you're gonna pay a penalty, 10% on the premium every month for every year that you put off enrolling. And the IRMA thing, which is the money on the Part B premium that's above the 202, you have no idea every year what the hell's gonna happen with the IRMA. So, and if you take any money out of savings, if you take any money out of a 401k, a 457, a 403b, any of that stuff, and you add that to your income, that affects your MAGI, and that also affects your Part B premium. Because my wife and I got hit on, that's what caused mine to go from $180 to $440 just for the IRMA amount for each of us. So.
But you had to take, did you have to take that out? Was that?
Yeah, we were moving money around. Yeah, so you just have to, you gotta include that in your budgeting because you go, okay, if I do this, my Medicare Part B premium is gonna go up.
For the rest of your life?
No,
That's for that year.
No, because that premium is based every year on your previous year's tax return. So it could go down the next year.
Oh, shoot.
It's a
But for
two-year
people
look
in
back.
your pay category, it's gonna be
Yeah, I read that.
bad.
Well,
Make our choices.
No free lunch.
maximum, is there a maximum you could get hit for? Isn't it 600 or 800?
Right here.
689.
689, right? Okay, thank you.
689.90, yeah. Over 750.
I'll learn this all by heart too.
And that'll,
By the time you learn, it'll change.
and that'll
again.
all
Yeah.
go up too, so.
Thank you.
It's in there. That's pretty good.
Anything else? Any other questions? Thank you. We're on item C. I don't see Michael here, so
How about if
C,
I
you're
take it?
up.
I am. I'll handle both. Thank you very much. We're gonna go and run through the financial dashboard very quickly. I'll just highlight a couple exhibits. So this thing proceeds. Wants to advance more than I. There we go. Right. I just want to focus on the bottom chart. So for the last 12-month periods, year over year, the Anthem, Cigna, and Kaiser claims experience year over year are trending probably below national trends at 4.9 for Anthem and about 8 and 7% for Kaiser and Cigna respectively. So that is kind of below national averages. So that's good. This is specifically to the non-Medicare population. The majority of members, of course, are on the Medicare plans. This is an exhibit detailing the experience of the Anthem plans. I just want to take a moment to highlight the chart on the bar chart on the far right, which is Plan 3, the Medicare Supplemental Plan. We saw an increase of 12.6 year over year. And you can tell that because Medicare subsidizes the majority of medical expenses, you see most of the spend is on pharmacy, which is the yellow portion of the chart. Both were up by just around 12% to 15% on medical, to 11% on pharmacy, balancing out to that 12.6. The Kaiser experience has been updated. Just a quick note, again, period to period. Claims on a per member per month basis went up by 7.15%. So again, kind of right around kind of national trends. What was interesting is that the number of individual claimants that saw claims in excess of 600,000 increased from 7 to 8, but offsetting that was a decrease in the days per thousand, inpatient days per thousand of about 5%. So that kind of balanced, we still saw that reduction in kind of overall cost versus kind of what we saw in the prior year when you look at total spend for those large claimants. It went down from 1.7 to 1.1 million. This is the lifetime maximum accumulation chart. Again, the top chart is comparing year to year. We kind of do that look at December 2023, December 2024. Those numbers were fairly comparable. The lower chart looks at a month to month, and we saw very little change in terms of those who are kind of approaching the lifetime maximum. This is based on the $1 million lifetime maximum. We're working with Anthem and LACERA staff to kind of come up with some revisions to this chart to kind of make that look worthwhile. And I don't know if you want to share it.
So just for the rest of you that were not here earlier, at yesterday's Board of Supervisor meeting, they did approve increasing the lifetime max to 2.25 effective July 1st.
We got to change the exhibit again. Happily, we'll do that. Rebates are unchanged, and then dental and vision claims experience, again, those are both trending down. Again, basically it's been flat for kind of the entire 12 months, so we're looking pretty good there. So that's it on the kind of utilization experience update. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Steve. Now the Disneyland report.
Sure. We have multiple items in your packet, mostly as informational. There were some updates on COVID vaccine vaccination eligibility, ACA kind of fee changes, et cetera. And one on fertility in terms of trying to expand availability of fertility benefits. But specifically, I think the one of most interest to kind of LACERA and its members would be the negotiated arrangements between Lilly and Novo Nordisk with the administration to provide access to GPL1s, Wegovy, I think coverages for weight loss and diabetes management, et cetera. So that's going to be basically discounts for Medicaid, Medicare Part D, and some direct to consumer arrangements, either through those manufacturers or through Trump RX. Those will happen in 2026. The big question is we have no idea what impact that may have on group coverage. So pricing could be stable. It could go up. It's really going to be hard to tell. So we'll have to continue to monitor that. But that's really the biggest kind of news at this point. So with that, I'll conclude and take any questions.
What's gonna happen with Obamacare? Any ideas?
Still waiting to hear about a replacement.
You know, talking about some things. You give us any background at all, what you, no?
All right, I got nothing on that one.
When it all happens, Ron, I'm gonna come find you. All right? Did they, when they did all this GLP stuff, did they, restore the, Biden reductions in the medications for people with diabetes? I didn't read that they had done that.
Don't believe they did.
Okay.
What did they do to us?
When Trump increased the diabetes drugs that Biden had lowered, I just want to know if they rethought that and gone back and reinstated the reductions in those drugs. And I don't think they have, so.
You don't think so, Steve?
I don't. I think what mostly.
What did he reduce then? What drugs were reduced drastically?
They're the GLP-1 medications that we see advertised on television, Wegovy, Ozempic. So you're seeing those drugs and just thinking it through, the medications for diabetes, reducing the cost of insulin was done by the Biden administration, but we're seeing a larger shift towards the broader use of GLP-1s, which is driving pharmacy spend. So I'm probably not surprised if they're not working backwards, but looking forward, trying to reduce basically the medications they're going to be using for diabetes, overweight, and other chronic conditions.
Any other questions? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Items for staff review?
I have nothing,
None. Items for future agenda?
nothing there.
And we'll just pull good of the order off until the Board of Retirement meeting. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.